We open up on a couple, Calvin and Haley is complaining that they're late for open day, and Calvin says, well, it's just open day, it's not like an actual day of school. And Haley complains, well, she at least wants to know what her classes are before the first day of school. And Calvin's like, don't worry, we'll make it there eventually. They go for a kiss, but then suddenly a bunch of garbage falls in front of them. They have a cute couple moment playing with the garbage, thinking it's alien garbage, which is actually correct. And then Boom reforms to normal, and he's like, hey, you two seen an average height guy named Brody around? The couple's a little freaked out about the shape-shifting man, but Calvin does say, well, he vaguely remembers a kid from first or second grade named Brody. What's your Brody's last name? And then Boom's like, I know him for about a decade, your time, and I never asked him his last name. This is interrupted when some Crybots teleport down and start blasting at everyone. So the gang hops into Calvin's car and then they drive away really fast and there's like a chase. Meanwhile, the others are also now chasing the Ninja Prism, which flies somewhere. But during the chase, Brody stops running and he runs off because he sees his family home. He goes in and finds it exactly the same how he left it, just a little run down. And then, it's like the scene from Jumanji. I'm home! Dad, Levi, I'm home! Come out! The Galaxy Warriors are gone! Ninja reveal! It's me, Brody! But then it kind of starts dawning on Brody that neither of them are here. He's been wanting to go home for the past 10 years, and when he's finally got home, there really isn't a home. So we have a emotional scene of Brody kind of breaking down as Sarah notes that this house has been abandoned for 10 years and the people who used to live here just sort of vanished. Preston notes that he must have been one of the kids. Sarah tries comforting Brody, saying, don't worry, we'll find your dad and Levi. Brody thanks Sarah, but then starts thinking, Find? We used to hide Ninja Steel in the ground. So he goes into his dad's old workshop and starts digging. He's only able to find a case full of elemental shurikens and some blank generic shurikens. Brody's happy that he at least found something. He looks back at the family photo, is like, don't worry guys, I'll find you. But then Sarah leans over and looks at the photo and he notes that, hey, that trophy, I recognize that. That's back at the school. Maybe there's some Ninja Steel hidden in it. Then Brody notes, might explain why Dad kept stealing back his kickboxing trophy. But then Preston feels something crawling on his back and swats at it. And it turns out to be a buzz cam. Oh no, they're being filmed. Galvanax watches all sinisterly as Cosmo sends down a new challenger. So now everyone has to race to the high school. Meanwhile, Boom, Calvin, and Haley arrive in a pretty blasted up truck. They manage to outrun the Crybots, but it's still pretty blasted up, and Calvin's like, oh man, what am I going to tell Mom and Dad? But then the Challenger teleports down to the high school. Calvin and Haley try to fight him off with random sports equipment, but he's pretty tough. And he throws Boom away, and he tries to finish off Calvin and Haley. But then luckily the Ninja Prism flies in and knocks him away, right through a wall and knocking open the trophy case. And Boom's like, yeah, that's how it does. He goes to grab a trophy and knock it over his head. But then Brody and the gang arrive and he's like, no, that might be important. There's a reunion and everyone introduces each other. Haley and Sarah already know each other. It's kind of a tense relationship. But then Boom points out the Ninja Prism. And Calvin and Haley stick their hands in and retrieve the yellow and white shurikens. and their swords immediately materialize. And Brody takes the lead. He's like, don't worry, I know what to do, guys, just like my dad used to. And then he puts the shuriken in the sword, hits the red button, and we get a quick morph, and everyone's like, whoa! And then there's a fight scene, and Brody finishes him with a red ninja final strike. And the crowd goes wild! Galvanax, watching all this, is frustrated that he still hasn't have the power stars. As Cosmo is like, yes, look at all these views! Oh my lords! Boom actually checks the kickboxing trophy, and it turns out there is Ninja Steel in it. Whoa! So Boom and Brody agree that they're going to move into the old house and fix it up and keep the prism and the Ninja Steel all safe. Boom explains to the rest that Ninja Steel sometimes is a material that grows on the Ninja Prism, and it's pretty powerful stuff, man. But then Boom notices, wait a minute, everyone has their Ninja Shuriken, then where is the gold Shuriken? And it cuts somewhere at sunset, and we see a figure playing a guitar in silhouette, and we see by his guitar case, he has the gold star. We open up on a montage of Brody and Mick fixing up the old house. Brody gets his new outfit, nice. But oh no, a new Galaxy Warrior contestant is arriving and wants to fight the Rangers. But kinda awkwardly, everyone else is at school. So Brody elects to go find them. Conveniently, when he finds them, they're all in math class together. But inconveniently for Brody, as soon as he gets there and tries to tell them what's going on, class begins. And Miss Finch is like, hey, new kids, new year, let's do this. And then Brody's like, hey, I'm all for school and all, but I'm kind of busy. And then Mrs. Finch is like, well, it has to wait until after class or after school. And Brody's like, yeah, well, I'm kind of busy with stuff that is more important than school. And Miss Finch gets like really frustrated. It's like, what's your name, young man? Brody Igasaki. And Miss Finch is like, well, Mr. Igasaki, if you're so important, then why don't you march your butt down to the principal's office? I think she might want to hear about your story. And then Victor Vincent's like laughing in the background as Brody just storms off. And the rest of the gang's like, what's important? Meanwhile, the Galaxy Warrior contendant is like stomping around the city looking for the Rangers. And the crowd's kind of bored, waiting. And then like Brody tries to make his way to wherever the principal's office is, but then he just kind of gets lost, so he decides to hide out in the bathroom. And later, Boom arrives at the shop class where Calvin and Haley's having class. He's like, what's going on? Where is everyone? Where's Brody? And then the principal walks in, fully expecting to tell the kids that the shop teacher quit. But then she sees Boom, and she's like, oh, hey, you must be the new shop teacher. And then Boom's like, yeah, my name's Boom. Mechanic, but some people call me Boom. Yeah. It's like, well, Mr. Mechanic, you start today. No, Mick is my first name. Canic is my last name. And she's like, okay, Mr. Canic, whatever. And Calvin's like, what was that? And then Boom's like, I had to think of a fake name. And the only thing I could think of was Mechanic. So, yeah, I have to think of a fake name because if I use my real name, then they're going to find some paper somewhere and reveal that I'm a 12-year-old kid currently because I'm currently from the future. And then there's going to be a big paradox if I accidentally meet my past self. And then just the universe might explode. So, yeah. And Calvin's like, makes sense to me. Then Boom's like, all right, I'm your mechanics teacher, mechanic. Class dismissed. I have stuff to do. And then tells Haley and Calvin to find the rest as he goes to find Brody. And then we have a montage of them finding Sarah in the hallway, Preston at like drama class, and Brody in the bathroom. Meanwhile, the Galaxy Warrior contestant is like, this is so boring. I'm going to go back. But then suddenly they get blasted. It's like, oh. And then the ninjas appear, finally. And they're in their training gear because I think they look cool. And they're like, stop there, Galaxy Warrior. Brody takes the lead. Ninjas, out from the shadows. We get our first full morph where they put the shurikens in the swords, hit the red button, do a little slash twirl thing, and then Ninja Steel, Ranger, reveal! They spin the shurikens, and then we get our full morph sequence, and after they're like, it might be presumptuous to announce ourselves, but we're gonna do it anyway. And we get a roll call with the power, stealth, strength, spirit, and speed of the ninja. They are Power Rangers Ninja Steel. And there's a fight scene, but then Cosmo rolls out the little thing and is like, come on guys, do you want to see him fight again? Gigantify, Gigantify, you guys want it, Gigantify! And he hits a button which alerts Madame Odious to use her dark magic to revive the monster and grow him giant. And everyone's like, crap! Then the Ninja Prism flies in and shows the game footage of past Megazords. Boom has an idea by taking some blank shurikens, tossing them in, and out flies their Zord shurikens. And then Boom starts thinking, alright guys, imagine whatever you think you want a Zord to be. And then they spin and summon their Zords, and Brody imagines a giant robot because he always wanted his big bro to come and save him from Galaxy Warriors. Preston imagines a dragon, which connects him to his mysticism. Calvin imagines a truck, but gets a dump truck instead. Haley gets a giant dog because she always wanted a dog. And Sarah gets a train because she likes trains. Then there's a really fun Zord battle. Kabidon. And then they form up the Shuriken Megazord. We're keeping the Sentai cockpit. They defeat the monster, and the Galaxy Warrior audience goes absolutely ballistic. They're in love with this. Cosmo's like, oh, the ratings! They're outrageous! These are some of the highest ratings we had in eons! And Galvanax is like, I do not care for ratings. I just want the Shurikens and the Ninja Steel back. The Rangers celebrate. And then the Zords all shrink down, with the red bot Zord shrinking down to human size, but keeping its normal head. The Ninja Dragon Zord shrinks down into a little baby dragon. The Nitro Zord turns into a normal pick-em-up truck. The Zoom Zord turns into a hoverboard, which is unique, but still, there are other hoverboards because this is a universe where we're building up to SPD having a lot of tech, so it's just a really cool hoverboard. And the Kodiak Zord turns into a real dog. And everyone's like, awesome! And then Boom reveals to everyone that he's the new shop teacher at the high school. And Brody decides, you know what? I haven't been to school in 10 years. Maybe I should probably head there too. Boom also says to Brody, you know, the trophy says Dan Igasaki, right? And Brody's like, yeah. And Boom's like, Igasaki is my mother's maiden name. You're my cousin! And you're older than me because I was born in 2005. And then they're like, dude! And they like hug each other.